There's a strange moment that nobody warns you about. Either you're chasing a retirement number or you've already reached it. And either way, the feeling's about the same. Uncertainty. Because the number was supposed to end the anxiety, but it didn't. This video isn't about how much money you need. It's about the number that you're chasing or the one you've already arrived at. It doesn't feel as safe as you had expected. You see, if retirement was really about a number, well then fewer people would feel stuck. Most retirement advice starts with a number because numbers feel objective. 1 million, 2 million, and in some cases even more. They sound final, they sound clean, they sound objective, and they spread around easily because they require no context. But you already know that something's off because two people can have the exact same number but live entirely different lives. See, those two people can have the same portfolio, but they can have different pressures and, quite frankly, different freedom. The number isn't wrong, it's just incomplete. And when it is complete, it doesn't remove fear, it just hides it. The number doesn't calm you because it's true, it calms you because it's simple. The appeal isn't math, it's a relief. A number gives you something solid in a phase of life that feels less reversible. You see, after 55, mistakes, they don't compound, they actually compress our lives. So our brains, they grab certainty wherever we can find it. A headline number, you know what, it feels like a guardrail, but what it really becomes is a substitute for your own judgment. And retirement doesn't reward obedience to rules, it rewards clear thinking despite uncertainty. You see, during retirement, you don't spend money evenly despite the fact that your spreadsheet shows it that way. Most models assume a straight line. Same spending, same withdrawals, same lifestyle. But you see, our retirement moves in phases. Your early years usually cost more because you still have energy to be up and out and doing. Later, well, life naturally narrows. Not worse, it's just different. These costs can rise again, often for reasons that, quite frankly, none of us like to plan for. A single number collapses all of that and compresses it all into one average. Averages are tidy, they're simple, they're clean. However, our lives in retirement are anything but that. See, most people aren't really afraid of running out of money, they're afraid of misjudging. So look, here's the quiet misunderstanding. Your savings are not going to replace a paycheck. Your savings are covering a gap. The gap between what you spend and what your reliable income says you can handle. You see, our work life trained us to think in terms of gross income, but retirement forces us to think in terms of net reality. And when those two numbers don't match, people chase numbers that were never ever tied back to their lives in reality. That's how perfectly capable people end up delaying their retirement year after year. And that procrastination takes away years that they will never ever get back. You see, when you have wealth, wealth doesn't erase fear. It just shapes it differently. There's a level of wealth where fear changes tone. You're no longer afraid of being broke. You're afraid of damaging that thing that protects you. Spending stops feeling like living, it starts feeling like erosion. So people hesitate again and again, not because they can't afford something, but because they spent decades learning not to touch that money in the first place. You see, the discipline that you had that built that wealth, all of a sudden becomes a cage around that wealth. You see, the word complex, it doesn't mean safer, it just means harder to see. You see, once you cross a certain wealth threshold, all of a sudden complexity comes searching you out. All of a sudden you hear words like private and exclusive and sophisticated. It sounds intelligent. But investment complexity like that often hides the costs, not the risk. And in retirement, what you can't clearly explain is what controls you. You see, simple systems, they feel boring. But quite frankly, simple systems are the ones you can trust when you're under stress. Some of the biggest retirement shocks don't arrive until years later. You see, when you're working life made taxes feel automatic. Retirement makes taxes feel incredibly personal. Income can rise on paper, even when your lifestyle doesn't feel like it. Your healthcare premiums shift. Required withdrawals all of a sudden appear. Brackets behave differently than you ever expected. When people don't trust the system they're inside, they freeze. And to make it easier, freezing feels like, no, I'm just being conservative. But being conservative often costs more than it protects. Two retirees, two identical portfolios can earn the exact same returns, but have incredibly different outcomes. Most people understand the term market averages, but what they underestimate is the impact of timing. Early losses feel different in the years that they're no longer earning. They don't just hurt the portfolio, they hurt your confidence. That's why so many retirees aren't reacting to markets. What they're reacting to is uncertainty. And uncertainty makes people either clamp down or just give up control. You see, this was never just about money. See, strip all the numbers away, and the question's still the same. Who am I when I'm not accumulating and working? When that happens, some people drift, and others begin to rebuild just quietly. Not through endless leisure, but through contribution without the pressure. You see, money supports that. It didn't create it. And when that part is missing, no number ever feels like it's enough. You see, the wrong question keeps people stuck for years and years. Instead of asking, do I have enough? Maybe the right question to be asking is, what of my retirement plan am I misjudging? It's your fear and not that retirement number that's driving your decisions. When you name it, the number loses its grip. And it's not because all of a sudden everything becomes clear, it's just you do. You see, and that's the difference between following a rule and trusting your own judgment. So sit with that. No rush.